Why hello there. So I know we already did a deck built around Wizardess of Oz and Burn, and it was fun, but a whole new expansion has happened since then, and we've updated the deck a bit. Got some Starseer telescopes in there for extra draw and more cheap Earth sigils. We do have our 3 Wizardesses, but we only have 3 spells in the deck. And that's because Wizardess is here mostly as a means of keeping our speed up. We want to draw a lot of cards, we want to have a full hand as often as possible, and we're just looking to clear the board using our Master Mage Levi's, our Professor of Taboos to build a nice big army. We have one pie-in-the-sky Dancer of the Sun, just in case we're able to double all minions' attack and defense on turn 10. I have yet to make that work, even though the deck tends to win pretty frequently. I'd say it's a pretty reliable deck. You do tend to win before turn 10 though, so you don't often get to see this card ever do a thing. Our big removals here are Calamitous Curse to get rid of our now pretty nerfed PDK dragons, and of course it's great for clearing a board of Aggro Sword. Petrification's here as a one target, get rid of it situation. Professor Taboos is also pretty good at getting rid of a specific target. If your opponent plays Bahamut, for instance, you could just skew a nice quick little Starseer's telescope into Professor Taboo and you don't have a Bahamut anymore. Other additions are Carl, Pious Instructor, to give us a little bit of healing, which is really important when your opponent is playing Aggro Sword. Just 1 or 2 points of health restored is a big difference between winning and losing. Otherwise, our objective remains the same. Burn with Halo Golem, burn with Master Mage Levi, get a nice stealth 4/3 with Mage of Nightfall, burn him with Time-Worn Mage Levi's Crimson Sorcery. We're just looking to hit them in the face with spells, hit them in the face with minions, and control the board as best we can. So yeah, not very different, but different enough that I think it's worth taking another peek at. So let's take a peek. So let's start with the true enemy, Aggro Sword. Because you want to make sure you can win against the deck you're going to see the most of. And sure, they received a couple of nerfs, but not enough to stop it. Angelic Slacker was not hit nearly hard enough to stop it from showing up, which is good. I like that card. And yeah, most of the other mainstays are unchanged. It's the same deck. PDK is the one that got hit harder, and even then, not that hard. So we're gonna go ahead and take advantage of this card draw we can get from this telescope. And we're just going to start building a board presence so we can take care of their board as they try and build theirs. The nice thing about this is we know they're going to have a whole bunch of cheap minions, and we know we could get rid of cheap minions very easily. And doing so is helpful for us. Getting sigils on the board means Halo Golem gets to go off, which is always important. Our 0/2 blocker here is super annoying for them. And we'll go ahead and get rid of their 2 attack minions, because leaving a 1/3 behind is not really all that alarming. If they evolve it, which they probably will, it only gives them 3 attack. And you see, this is the big reason why we want to take care of their minions and not focus on their face, is they're already down the 2 cards. If we can remove all of their card advantage and maintain our board advantage, we win. They will simply run out of steam. And we don't need to worry about the 10 damage burst of Levi until turn 9. And with only 2 cards in hand, we could usually add up how much damage they could possibly do at any given point in time. For instance, on turn 6, they could have a burst of 4 if they play the Round Table Assembly. Now this is a bit of a misplay on my part. I'm just going to go straight into Calamitous Curse. I should have Wizardess of Oz into Calamitous Curse. That way I could have drawn up to 5 cards, had a 1-cost Calamitous Curse. But ultimately it doesn't matter. They only have 3 cards left. We have more than lethal on the board. And I doubt they're going to clear. They couldn't, even if they wanted to. He opts to do 5 damage and concede. How about another aggressive variant? Bloodcraft. You could certainly put more spells in this deck if you wanted to. It would work maybe even better, to be honest. But I've been enjoying this setup just as a pretty consistent counter to the aggressive decks I've been up against. I don't really need 3 more points of damage to go into the enemy's face. I need board clears. I need controlling the situation. So I found that just 2 Calamitous Curses and 1 Petrification has worked pretty well for me. Although I might bump it up to 3 Calamitous Curses in the future. Although I am, with the rest of you, now in a bit of a limbo since they've announced that they're going to have 2 formats starting in December. We're going to have the unlimited format and the limited format, which is good for new players and could be good for us. I know in Hearthstone I have just decided to dust anything that's not in Standard. I think for Shadowverse I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to be an unlimited format player for the most part, since I have so many cards in all the different expansions. Anyway, similar to Aggro Sword, we are looking to control the board to the best of our ability. We don't have to worry about as much burst as we do with Aggro Sword. Obviously, Blood has a lot of burst, but if these chains are here, most of that burst doesn't work. We don't have to worry about any of the Vengeance Storm minions until he's under 10. Which is good for us, because we could plan when to go for lethal. Similarly, we're trying to whittle down their hand, because we could fill up to 5 instantly. Which is obviously very helpful. An unfortunate situation where we have to use our Levi just to get rid of 1 minion, but we are somehow out of Earth Sigils. Oh, it's my favorite card, Karabos. I don't have a single Bloodcraft deck that does not have her in there. So we're on a timer now. Thankfully, we do have our Calamitous Curse here that's only going to cost 1. That'll take care of the Karabos problem. Or, now that I'm looking at it, this is the way we're going to go. Levi takes care of Karabos, so we get an additional 3 damage in hand. And we leave them at 11, which means any Vengeance cards they have, not yet active, keeping us safe. There was a chance that they could get through and kill our Wizardess. That was a risk, but it's a risk that paid off. They're sitting here thinking that I don't have lethal, and they have a ward. That ward means nothing. We'll just go ahead and clear everything and destroy them. Ta-da! And rather than showing some PDK matchups, I think we'll go with the latter's new favorite meme. Lord Atomy. Who, if you're up against Shadowcraft, is probably what they're running. I like to confuse people by popping in and playing a Nep deck. No one ever expects Nephthys to show up. And unlike with the aggro sword and aggro blood, this is a slightly different experience. We do want to try and keep their board somewhat empty because obviously they're looking to get 4 minions on the table, play Lord Atomy for free, and then end up with an 8-8 that we don't have much ways of dealing with early in the game. It's also refreshing because when you're up against aggro, you have to play a very risky game of using your health as a resource. You're always running pretty close to death by the time you win, which can be very scary. One misplay and you might be out. With this one, we're more looking to gather answers in our hand and hold on to them for when the inevitable 8-8 shows up on the board. Or more likely, the 8-8s and the multiple 6-7s that come with it, if they're running the variant in this deck that comes with the glacial... Oh, here's our first Atomy. I should really craft that guy. He looks like a lot of fun to play. And I love his card art. In Magic the Gathering, I'm almost always a black mana player, so I appreciate the art style of Atomy. Black-green if I had to choose a duo. Very excited for the new Magic the Gathering game that's coming out. The computer one, not the next set. Although that's exciting too. Anyway, we're in a nice situation where Master Mage Levi will clear the board and do some damage for us. And this deck is a very good matchup for Atomy. Oh, there they go. I wasn't done talking about this deck yet, so we'll do another game against an Atomy deck. Anyway, the fun of this kind of matchup is, depending on what they have in their hand, if you can get past that first Atomy push, you often win, like you just saw in the last match. They had plenty of health, but they conceded because they didn't have Atomy and they didn't have enough cards in their hand to make Atomy work anymore. I think this is a matchup where that is not a problem for them. If I recall, they have a lot of Stairways to Heaven in this. We'll find out very soon. Or I'm crazy, and that's not what this deck is at all. But I'm pretty sure it is. Because again, if you're seeing Shadowcraft on ladder, it's probably Atomy. Now generally I hold on to that guy for healing later on, but we're not against aggro sword, we're not against aggro blood, which means playing him earlier on just for the tempo is fine. And as much as it hurts me to do this, I do want to get rid of lurching corpses or anything else they have on the board. I don't want to let them get Atomy off easily. Not clearing the board will result in very sad times. We are sadly at 5 mana and not at 6, so Levi can't take care of this problem for us. But we can still clear. We're gonna go ahead and take care of him. And then again, I'm gonna get rid of Lurching Corpse, even though it will get rid of one of my own minions. I was obviously hoping for it to trigger on our Illusionist here. Ah, there we go. Frozen Mammoth. If you weren't sure it was an Atomy deck yet, now you know. And if you get your Time Worn Mage Levi's in hand, that's always the target for evolution, unless you have Master of Taboos, Professor of Taboos, whatever his name is. Zombie Man, he's another good target because he can trade in, and that makes a 2/2 body for you, and if you have a Sigil on the board, at the end of your turn you get another body. Alright, Atomy is clearly making an appearance, which means we now have to deal with 2 1/1s, a 6/7, and an 8/8. And I bet they're going to evolve one of them. Yep. So, we're gonna have Master Mage Levi take care of most of this for us. And now, Calamitous Curse can take care of almost anything they put out. And there they go, they just drew a bunch of cards. Another Deathly Tyrant shows up, they only have 15 shadows, so we don't have to worry about that. But, as you can see, Calamitous Curse works great against Aggro Sword, works great against PDK, even though I didn't show you that. You already know it will. Works great against Aggro Blood, works great against Atomy. It's just a very good addition to this deck. If you can get it for 1 cost using our Wizardess of Oz, that's just a bonus. So, while they only have 2 cards left in hand, we have plenty. And here's a major misplay for you. I should have played Professor Taboos first, then played the stupid Sigil. I would have had a 2/2 zombie on the board, and my 3/5, and then I would have had lethal with the Dancer. I missed my chance to use the goddamn Dancer for lethal. This will haunt my dreams for a few days, because I've never gotten to use that card, ever, as a 10 cost fun time. It's very sad. Anyway, we still win because we had significant card advantage, and that's how it works. So yeah, if you are tired of the current meta of this game and you're looking for a fun deck that works well against that meta, I do recommend putting together a nice Burn Earth Sigil Runecraft deck. There's a lot of different variants you could play with it. Most of them work very well in this current setup. You don't even need Wizardess, it's just a really good draw engine. And there are other cards you could put in that are also fun, which I won't go into right now because it's already been like 20 minutes and I want to end this video soon. Anyway, I hope you had fun, and I'll see you next time with another deck. I'm probably going to do maybe a Forest Craft. There are a lot of really fun 0 legendary budget Forest Craft decks that are pretty interesting and fun to play, or I might do something else. As always, check the description if you want the deck code, and leave a comment if you want to see something specific, or you have any questions or suggestions or anything. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.